Okay, so this is just going to be a video where I guess this could be any time of the year or any kind of protest, but at the same time, it's kind of related to Pride Month because I guess Pride Month itself is a protest against like homophobia and transphobia, so it still kind of makes sense to post it in Pride Month. So yeah, I was like, why not just have this be part of my Pride Month videos, I guess, because whatever. But also, it kind of just makes sense for any time of the year, I guess, because yeah, especially nowadays, because it seems like there's a lot of shit happening. So I just, I mean, this could also applied like a few years or a couple years ago too. So I don't know. I guess it's better kind of late than never. So, whatever. But anyway, so yeah, so it's kind of related to Pride because, like, Pride Month started as like a riot or a protest where people were throwing like bricks and shit and, saying like fuck you to the like police and stuff. And, because the police were like raiding gay bars and stuff, even though everyone there was kind of just existing as a gay person. Like, there wasn't really anything that was like super bad happening. Like, it's just a bunch of gay people hanging out, I guess. So, like, why the fuck are you raiding gay bars if everyone's just like chilling, not really doing much? Like, maybe they're dancing and drinking, but they're not really doing anything. So it's like, fuck the police for raiding gay bars. So that's kind of, part of that. Um, or they would go after people who are just doing shit in their own home and like they're a private room or whatever, and then they would like take people to jail even though they're just doing shit in a area that's like private. So, you know, I think Pride Month still works for this kind of video. So, yeah. Anyways, so let's get on with the video, I guess. I just wanted to kind of whatever with the intro there and then, yeah, get into, I guess, pointers and stuff of how to protest or how to get ready for a protest and some pointers that you could do that could maybe help you in a protest. So, yeah, let's get on with the video. Alright, so for the first one that I have here is hide anything that people could use to identify you. So, like, tattoos are one thing where it's like you should cover up tattoos with any, like, clothing or something, or, I mean, maybe you could do it with, like, makeup, but, like, I feel like doing it with clothes is just gonna be a little bit easier, but it also depends on like where your tattoos are. So like, I don't know. Like, I guess if it's super warm outside, then you're probably not gonna wear too many clothes and stuff. But like, you know, I feel like you're better safe than sorry with like them identifying you. But also, it's like if you get too warm outside, then that's also kind of dangerous. So yeah, I don't know, just like wear something that's light and flowy, but it still covers any tattoos. Also, if you have like tattoos on your hands, you can maybe wear like some sort of glove that's not gonna be too warm if it's warm outside. So, like maybe fingerless gloves, but maybe even gloves that aren't fingerless. And then you could just, I don't know, maybe there's like workout gloves. Like, I guess someone in the comments could say if there's workout gloves or not, because I'm guessing there is some sort of like workout glove that'll be like breathable, but it still covers your hands. Just, I don't know, but I don't do workout stuff, so I don't fucking know. So, if you know, then I guess you can say in the comments or something. But yeah, that's just something that I thought about there. But yeah, just try to think of anything that you could cover up, like tattoos with, or if you have any like scars or moles or whatever, any sort of like mark or something that you have on your face or anywhere really that they could use to identify you. Because even just like scars and moles and stuff, like, a scar is usually pretty specific to you. Like, no one else is gonna have the same scars that you have. Because, I don't know. I mean, some people have some of the same scars, but I feel like not always. Because I know, like, Markiplier and Keanu Reeves they both have, like, the scar down, like, their stomach or something. I think it was kind of like down their stomach a little bit because I think Mark got his from like being in the hospital at one point, and I think Keanu Reeves got his from like a motorcycle accident or something. I don't completely remember if that's correct. And maybe someone in the comments could correct me if I'm wrong on those, but I think that's what it's from. But just like really weird, that's like the same scar on the same spot, kind of. And they're probably from the two different things. Also, Mark and Keanu, like a lot of people are just like they look a lot alike. So, yeah, but anyways, I'm kind of going off topic a little bit here. But yeah, so scars can sometimes, most of the time, be specific to you. Like, I have certain, like, scratches that I got that kind of turned into scars and stuff, and you know, but there's probably not that many people that have the same exact scars that I have, so I would have to probably somehow cover them up. Or like tattoos, I'm sure most people have tattoos that are very specific to them, so, you know, you'd have to cover that up. Or like moles and stuff. Like, some people have moles that are kind of in the general same area as some other people, but not always. So, if you want to, I guess you could probably cover up scars with makeup better than tattoos, because usually tattoos are like black ink and stuff, and then you'd have to really cake on a lot of makeup for that. But scars or moles, I mean, sometimes moles are kind of hard to cover up because they're so dark. Or at least if you're a white person and you have these brown, dark brown moles. Like, I have some dark brown moles on like my arms and stuff. Like, maybe it's, I guess, a little harder. I never really tried to cover up my moles with makeup, so I don't really know, but I imagine it's probably kind of hard to, but you know, maybe you can do that with makeup. But with scars, usually they're kind of like faded and still kind of like somewhat same skin tone-ish as your normal skin sometimes. At least some of my scars are kind of like the same kind of skin tone as mine. They just like are slightly different, but you can still try to cover them up a little bit with makeup, I guess, or just cover them up with like clothes and stuff. So, yeah. Or if you have like dyed hair, like your hair is a different color that's like not like a natural color, then what you can do is, I guess, put like a hat on or a hood over your head. Again, if it's really warm outside, then you might want to go with like a hat that's kind of somewhat breathable, or like a light hoodie that's not super like thick or baggy, and just like, I mean, maybe baggy would be better, but just make sure like air can flow through it. So maybe baggy would be better for that. But yeah, if you get a hoodie that's light, then that'll probably work. Um, yeah, also if you have like long hair, then you are probably gonna want to put it in like a ponytail or a bun and then shove it in a hat or in your hood or something, because then it's, hidden if it's dyed and stuff. If it's a more natural color, then I guess it wouldn't really matter. But also at the same time, if you have a very specific kind of haircut, that not a lot of people have, then you might also want to kind of hide it a little bit. So, that might be another thing there. But yeah, just anything that they could easily see and then identify you with, then you are probably going to want to hide it. Also, don't wear clothes that have like specific patterns or like logos and stuff. Try to wear something that's kind of plain and like doesn't really have anything crazy on it. And like probably go with normal, like neutral colors that are just like black or gray, white, like just, kind of plain colors like that. Nothing like super bright or crazy. Just try to keep it like minimal, I guess. And don't try to like have some super flashy stuff on and just like, even if it was for like a pride event, like it's still just, you don't want anything that could really identify you or whatever. Just wear something that's chill and kind of like, I don't know, undercover kind of thing. And yeah, so that's just kind of something there where it's like, I mean, I guess it kind of does depend on the protests, but also just like, you don't want police and stuff identifying you so they can arrest you if they are trying to go after people and stuff for whatever reason. So, yeah, that's kind of just one thing there where it's like, just wear normal kind of plain stuff and try to hide like any, you know, tattoos and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's just like, surface level, basic, whatever of that part. And yeah. Anyways, I kind of want to go to the next one now because I'm guessing this video is already going to be kind of longish. So, yeah. So I should move on to the next one. Alright, so this next one also kind of depends on. I think it kind of depends on what protest it is because leaving your phone at home, I feel like in this day and age, we kind of depend a lot on like phones and stuff because there's a lot of stuff that you kind of have to do on your phone, like contacting a hospital or ambulance or something. Like, I feel like that's kind of a big thing. Like, if you don't have a phone, like, how are you really gonna contact emergency stuff or like fire emergency stuff? Like, I feel like we're very dependent on that. Like, if someone's dying, we kind of like, I mean, you could probably drive somewhere to get help, but at the same time, calling someone is probably gonna be faster. I don't know, but you know, so like leaving your phone at home can kind of, I don't know. But I guess, like they they would probably know that you were at a protest if you took your phone with, because they can like track where phones have been. So, you know, I guess it kind of depends on the protest and stuff if you should leave your phone at home. I don't know. Um, I guess, if you're gonna take your phone with, keep it charged. But also, I think even if you turn your phone off or put it in airplane mode, I'm pretty sure they can still track it. So, kind of pointless if you turn it off or put it in airplane mode because I'm pretty sure they can still track it and see if you were at the protest on that day and at that time and whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. Also, if you're gonna leave your phone somewhere else and you still want to take pictures or videos, then I guess take a camera that's not connected to any internet or anything, and then you can take pictures and videos and stuff if you want to do that. Because, some people will go to protests and stuff and take videos and pictures and stuff and, whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this one might kind of depend on the protest, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It depends if you really think you're safer with it or without it. Because, again, I don't know. I feel like it kind of depends. So, I don't know. But yeah, this is just an idea because I've seen people talking about leaving your phone somewhere else if you're going to a protest because, they can see if you were there on that day and stuff. So, I just, heads up, I guess. I don't know. But, anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next point here, and yeah. This next one I feel like is pretty important. Make sure you eat and drink and, eat before you go and then eat afterwards. 'Cause I guess it also depends on how long you're going to be out there too, but if you're out there walking around, standing around a lot, you're going to want to have food and water in you so you don't end up passing out from, you know, not having anything in you. Because I've had that happen before where I don't eat for way too long and then I end up feeling like shit and I feel like I'm gonna fall over. I have passed out from that before, at least once, and yeah, it's not that great. So, yeah, a lot of the other times I felt like I was gonna pass out and then I had to eat something right away. So, yeah, don't do what I did before. So, yeah, make sure you eat something, drink something, have like a water bottle with you, but make sure it's like, I don't know, a water bottle that you can just, I guess, get rid of after a while, or, make sure it doesn't have any identifying things on it. So, yeah, just a plain water bottle or whatever, and yeah, so you could probably like donate it afterwards if you really want to, also, because that could probably also be another thing that you could do. So they can't, if you have it somewhere else later, then maybe someone could be like, hey, I saw someone with that water bottle at a protest the other week. Was it you? That sort of thing. But yeah, just make sure you're eating and drinking in general. Not just at protests, but every day. Eat and drink because you have to. That's a normal human thing you need to do. So make sure you do that every day. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing I have here. The next one here I have is tell someone you trust where you are going and what time and day that you're going to that place. And like, you want to make sure that someone you trust knows that you were there. So then if something bad does happen, then they will probably know that you had something bad happen to you. You know, especially if you are someone of color or a woman or, any minority, because like a lot of minorities are at risk of being taken and harmed in whatever way. And like if you're a cis straight white man, then I mean, cis straight white men can still be taken and like abducted and stuff, of course, and like bad things can still happen to them, but it's at a smaller rate than other people. Like if you're a minority, you're a woman or you're gay or trans or someone of color, you have a higher rate of being harmed or taken or whatever. And so it's like, make sure you have someone you trust that knows where you're at. And this doesn't only, like, this applies to multiple other things too, not just protests. Like, if, like, usually when, like, women go on dates, or at least a lot of women that I, you know, hear from, like, they'll tell other people that, like, they're going on a date with someone. Because a lot of men can be shitty, so they might tell friends that they're gonna go on a date at this place at this time on this day, and oh, if you don't hear from me in XYZ amount of time, then whatever. Then yeah, it's like just make sure someone knows that you're out there and you're doing whatever at this time. So, yeah, just stay as a precaution, especially if you are a minority, you know? Just better safe than sorry, you know? But anyways, let's move on to the next point that I have here. Okay, so the next one is take stuff with you that will protect you, and if there's like police there and they're like throwing chemicals or like tear gas and stuff and whatnot, then you're gonna want to have stuff that'll like protect you. And like I'm pretty sure milk is one of the things that will like get rid of chemicals and stuff if you have it on you. Cause like there'll be like if you eat something spicy, make sure you drink milk because it'll like take away the spice off like your tongue and stuff. So I think that's like one of the things that'll help. Um, if there's anything better than milk, then I guess put it in the comments or, you know, any other way you can get chemicals off yourself. Probably also like water, because I mean, water is probably not as good as milk, but it's better than nothing, I guess. You can still like dilute it and whatever. But yeah, also like wearing a mask and stuff. I mean, a mask can also help hide your identity, but also it can help protect you from like tear gas and stuff if you're wearing like a specific type of mask that shields you, like your eyes and stuff. Or if you wear some sort of mask that has like a filter that'll like filter out the air for you, and then then you don't really have to worry as much about like breathing in harmful chemicals that they throw at you and stuff like that. So, and like you could probably wear some sort of like armor type of thingy, like wear something underneath your shirt or something, or around your legs or something, just so if they try to hit you with something, then you can at least have that take the hit instead of your actual body. Um, like some of the stuff that police were doing at certain riots, like or protests and stuff, like there was police using like rubber bullets and people were getting really fucked up from that even, and they were using like tear gas and stuff. So you're gonna probably want to have something that'll like protect you, even if it's like super warm outside. Like you could still try to wear some sort of like armor or something that'll protect you from that. Maybe even if you have like a sign that says something on it, like a piece of cardboard, like maybe you could have that in front of you, and that's probably still better than nothing, even if it's just like some shitty little cardboard sign. Like it's at least better than nothing. Um, and I mean, maybe you could even go with like if you have like a random piece of wood that's like a sheet of wood or something, and you like painted whatever thing on it, and then that'll still be better than nothing, I guess, to protect you. So, just anything that'll like protect you from something like that, then yeah, it's like, you know, even if it's just stupid little signs, like, I mean, I guess they're not really stupid, but, you know, little flimsy signs, I feel like it's still better than nothing to protect you. So, if anyone has any like specific ideas for that, then I guess put it in the comments. And I don't know, but yeah, let's move on to the next points I have here. The next one I have here is know the area that you're in and the area that you're protesting. Have ways to get in and out of the area, and like if something bad goes down or something bad happens, then have an escape route, have an escape, and you don't want to just have one escape route, because if you get moved to a different area or like moved down a street or something, then you want to be able to have escape plans down this other way too. And yeah, you want to be able to like hide places or run somewhere. I feel like running is probably better than hiding because they could probably find you anyways. So, if you can run somewhere and make sure you know the area that you're running to, because you don't want to run somewhere and then just be like, oh shit, I don't know where I am now. But yeah, if you have a map, like even if it's just like a paper map, like it's better than nothing, even if it's like a couple months out of date, because, you know, a lot of times roads can be changed and worked on, but I feel like even if you get one that's like slightly out of date, like it's still, and don't get ones that are like super old, but maybe get one that like even if it's just from like last year, I think can still kind of help in some way because I'm sure it's still going to be somewhat the same anyways, not completely changed at all. So, just know the area and then you can like get in and out if you really need to. And yeah, if something goes down or they kick you out or try to move you away from the area, then have you disperse, then you can easily get out because you don't want them to actually harm you. And yeah, surviving is better than dying for the cause. Like, live to fight another day, that whole saying. But yeah, anyways, let's go to the next point I have here. The next one I have here is be alert of things around you, and you can like make sure you hear everything around you, and you're looking around and making sure that you're safe and other people are safe. And if anything happens, like maybe you can like help them get out of it. Obviously, try not to have yourself in danger, but you can try to also maybe help other people in danger, especially if you are a white person and you can protect someone who isn't white. And, like, because I feel like a lot of people of color at protests are often targeted more than white people. That at least that's what I've kind of seen with stuff happening. And yeah, so make sure you're alert of things happening around you. Make sure you're listening and looking. And yeah, you don't want to get jumped by someone who's trying to hurt people, or, you know, if anyone's trying to cause problems, try to be alert of that and stay clear of people who are trying to hurt people. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next one now. The next point we have. The next thing I have here is you could maybe bring a first aid kit for, I guess this is like if the worst happens and you need to start like helping people who get hurt and you have a chance to be able to like help them, and then you can like, I don't know, give people like band-aids and stuff, and like, stuff that can like clean out any injuries that they have, and you know, stuff like that. Obviously, if they're like super injured, then they should go to like the hospital or something. And they, if they're asked about it, they could lie about how they got hurt because, you don't want people to know that they're at a protest. So you could like have them make sure they lie about how they got hurt. Like maybe they, I don't know, were like if the injury's on their hand and it's like a cut or something, then, maybe it could be like they were cutting some food and then they ended up slicing their hand, even though it was from something else. Um, just, idea there. Have a first aid kit of some stuff that you could help people with if they get hurt. And yeah, anyways, let's go to the next point. The next one is the buddy system. So, there is the whole part where it's telling someone where you're going and what you're doing, and so then someone knows that you're at a protest. But the next thing you could do is even just like bring someone else with you, like someone else you know wants to do the protest too, and then you can go together and watch out for each other, kind of have each other's back. Or when you get there, you could maybe buddy up with a couple other people or like another person. Just make a friend or something and be like, hey, can kind of like buddy up and like watch each other's back. So if anything happens, we can get each other out. We can make sure e- both of us are, watched out for. And, or like have a little group of like, hey, all of us here, we gotta watch out for each other. Make sure each of us gets out. Like, try to not get separated and like make sure like this person goes down that road, let's meet up at this other place. If we do get separated, let's meet up over here or try to meet up in this area. And yeah, have a buddy system. You're always safer in numbers, you're always safer together, you're stronger together. So try to have like a friend, or if you don't have anyone to go with, then see if you can make a friend there and have a buddy system. But yeah, let's move on to the next point. I think this next one will also be the last one. So yeah. The last one I have here is try to not get violent. Like, I know you can't control everyone there, and you can't guarantee that it won't get violent, but try to keep it peaceful because, I feel like peaceful protests are probably the best way. And I mean, some people are probably going to be like, oh, the best way should be violence because, they're never going to listen to you if you're peaceful. They're never going to listen if you don't break shit or something. But I just, I feel like we can be peaceful, and then if it really needs to be violent, then you can do that next. Like, I mean, Pride Month started as a riot and we were throwing bricks and shit, but I feel like if we can do it peaceful first, and if we can get through being peaceful, then that's the best way. But I guess if it does come down to it, then maybe we do need to be violent. But I feel like for now, just try to do it peacefully, I guess. And then we can see where it goes from there. So, yeah. Anyways, though, I guess that's kind of it for this video. I think that should be all of the points that I have here. So, yeah, I guess bye then. If you have any other ideas, then put them in the comments below. Or if you have any extra things to add to the stuff that I talked about here, then you can add on to that. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video. So bye.